Hello everyone, today is January 23rd, Monday, the second day of Chinese New Year of Rabbit. All the best wishes to you and 恭喜发财. We know Alaska is the largest state in America, almost 1/5 of total American territory, very close to the Arctic and the North Pole. Then how did it become the US 49th state? And this is just today's topic. And that is Seward Folly and how he purchased the Alaska for America from Russia. It happened in 1867, just 7 years after Russia took over 1 million square kilometers land from China's Manchuria, and 2 years after American Civil War. To Russians who have been very aggressive and greedy for lands, it is very tough to understand why they gave up the Alaska with lands of 1.7 million square kilometers. That's about 10 o'clock at night, that March 29th, 1867. That's a Friday. The Russian ambassador to America, the Edward Stoico, came to the residence of William Seward, the U.S. Secretary of State, telling him that the Russian government agreed to sell the Alaska to America, suggesting for further negotiations for the details in the U.S. State Department office next day. At the time, Seward was playing cards. When he heard the news, he was very excited and agreed to sign the treaty immediately at night. And finally, the deal was done with 7.2 million US dollars, equal to current 460 million US dollars. That was only 2 cents for each acre and $4.6 for each square kilometers. And when the agreement was done, it was already 4 o'clock in the morning of March 30th. And Seward immediately went to see President Andrew Johnson for ratification by Congress. On April 9th, that's 1867, the American government passed the bill, and on October 18th, the session of ceremony was undertaken by Russia and America. After the release of the news, lots of people supported it. Very many voices of criticism were also heard, such as Seward Icebox, Seward Folly, and nothing stupid like this in diplomacy. Some even marked it as President Johnson's Pole Bear Garden. Someone blamed it, signed at night, as a secret treaty, as a deal under the table. Some newspaper even mentioned Alaska covered with ice and snow, wild and barren, just like an orange sucked dry. It's useless except for some fur animals. It was sad, and Seward had to stay at home for a few days. This is under the pressure of blames. Yet he believed and said, "Now I buy it, most possibly without any use. Yet many years later, our children might benefit from this deal purchase." Finally, Seward's decision was approved visionary and far-reaching. Later, the gold was found in Alaska, and hundreds of thousands of people came here for a gold rush. And the gold yielded here could buy 3 more Alaskas. The fishing and the forestry were abundant, and also with tremendous oil and gas, worthy of $2 trillion US dollars. The location of Alaska is vital, neighboring with Asia over Bering Strait, and playing a key role in military and strategy. Alaska lies on the northwest of the American continent, with length over 2,200 kilometers and width over 3,600 kilometers. The size of the line is over 1.5 million square kilometers, and with another 200,000 square kilos of seas, totally 1.7 million square kilos. And there is an American saying about Alaska. That is, if Alaska is cut into two pieces, then Texas is America's third largest state. Alaska is bigger than two Texas states, 17 times as China's Jiangsu province. Now, international airlines from Asia to America mostly cross over Alaska and the North Pole. In 1741, the Russian explorer Bering crossed the Bering Strait to America and discovered Alaska and the local Eskimos. Since then, Alaska became the Russian territory and ran by a Russian-American company, mainly for furs and catching whales. Yet, it had mismanaged and lost more money for long. From 1853 and to 1856, broke out the Crimean War between Russia and British, France, and Turkey. And Russia failed and worried about the British might take over Alaska from Canada. So it began to consider to sell this enclave to America for borrowing from the British. And again, some more money, and they needed it eagerly after the war. Therefore, under Russian ambassador Stoichkov frequently visited Seward for this business purchase of Alaska. Seward was born on May 16, 1801, in an ordinary family in a suburb of New York. He was very intelligent and hardworking. Enrolled in college at the age of 16, that interested in law and politics. Later, he became lawyer, a senator in New York, and then as New York State governor. He greatly improved the public transportation in New York and also promoted public education to immigrant children, and strongly opposed to slavery in the South. In 1849, he was elected as a U.S. Congress Senator, and he was an early member of American Republican Party, and also a very popular candidate for American presidency. After Abraham Lincoln became president, he was chosen as state secretary. From very early, Seward realized the great potential of Alaska. In 1852, he suggested in Congress that the American Navy undertake some navigation survey to Alaska. In 1860, he put forward to take Alaska as American frontier outpost. Since March 1867, Stoichkov and Seward began their negotiations and bargains about Alaska with an American initial offer of $5 million, at most $5.5 million. While Russia asked for $7 million, with another extra $200,000 for Stoichkov's telegraph fees and the lobby expenses. As a U.S. State Secretary, Seward has been engaged in promoting American interests, sometimes even by use of force. In 1867, there happened a French missionary and American businessman were killed in Korea. Seward advocated France and America jointly dispatch expedition army to Korea to force Korea to accept treaty agreement. Besides, around China's Taiwan Sea area, pirates sometimes emerged. Seward decided to send troops to occupy or as a military base. In June 1867, about 181 American Marines landed at the south of Taiwan, yet met fierce resistance from the locals and had to withdraw. In 1870, Seward visited China and said Americans had no intention to infringe China's interests. Anyone in any country or nation would be damned if he ceded territory or pays reparation. Li Hongzhang, Prime Minister of China's Mandarin Qing government, undertook self-strengthening modernization, endeavored to save the empire in danger. Yet he still became the scapegoat of Qing government's corruption, impotence, and shame in defeat due to his signing on surrender treaties. In First World War, Germany failed and had to sign the Treaty of Versailles, and with harsh terms and limits. And the German Foreign Minister Hermann Müller shed tears in signing ceremony. On the contrary, whoever conquered and expanded more territory for a nation will be honored as a hero. And just like General Zuo Zongtang in the late Mandarin Qing government took all the risks and hardships. When he regained the 1.6 million square meter territory of Xinjiang for China, President Lincoln maintained the reunification of America and abolished slavery, deserved him as one of the greatest presidents of the United States. William Seward, the U.S. State Secretary, never engaged in battlefields, yet he gained 1.7 million square kilometers Alaska due to his vision and persistence. For prevention against any uncertainty, he signed the agreement with Russians immediately when he got the news. And his effort and devotion to national interests should be a good example for all diplomats, much better than those diplomacy wolves who can only quarrel and nothing gained. Seward was not afraid of being called Folly. Instead, insist on his judgment in facing great challenges, and finally purchased Alaska for long-term interests rather than the short ones. Though many people didn't realize the potentials, yet as a policymaker or as a diplomat, the long-term national interests should be put as first priority instead of the immediate benefits. For China and America, the two big powers right now, it is a subtle period of transition, either doomed hostile or gradually more cooperative looming. Confrontations hurt both, yet work together can make win-win. The U.S. Secretary of State Blinken plans to visit China this February. Maybe the story of Seward purchasing Alaska can help him focus more on Sino-U.S. long-term national interests. Now it is in China's New Year of Rabbit already. I hope everyone can enjoy a new start and more good lucks. And also our channel, Log On See the World, with a 1-year anniversary, will attract more of your attention. Above today's session, thank you for your joining in and see you next time. Thank you, bye.